Welcome to Coffee Confessions, an online TV show with one topic, several guests, and various opinions. Today's topic is thin still in? Your thoughts on plus-size modeling. I'd like to welcome Jyoti Sardar, Deputy Station Head of Josh 97.8 FM. Hi, Jyoti.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for actually choosing this topic.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
It's a topic I feel deeply about, so let's talk.
So, do you actually feel that thin is still in?
No, actually, I think for real people in the real world, it doesn't matter, but it's very, very important in the fashion and the entertainment industry. Thin is still in, and we see that because of all these actresses who come out and then they start losing weight and going on these diets and exercise routines to look a certain way. So there's a lot of pressure in the entertainment industry, I think. But the people I meet or interact with or hang out with, no, thin is not the way to go. You want to feel fit. When you're not fit, that's when you feel not good about yourself. But when you're fit and you have energy and you've been working out, you've been eating right, it's fine. It doesn't matter if you're a size 4 then or a size 10. So I think it's more about that.
Do you think beauty comes in sizes?
I think beauty comes in all shapes and sizes, and it's interesting you asked this question because I recently read this this study they did. They had one model's face and they sent it to these Photoshop professionals in different countries around the world and asked them to make her face look beautiful. And some people made it fatter, chubbier, thinner, more makeup here, thicker eyebrows. Some people had thin eyebrows. Some people had fuller lips, so everyone manipulated her face on Photoshop. But it was a different perception of beauty depending on the culture or country that it was sent to. And I thought that was really interesting because in a certain culture or a country, fat or chubby is beautiful. And fuller cheeks are beautiful, but in another country, like really thin jawline and sucked in cheeks are prettier. So I think it's around the world, beauty is in all different shapes and sizes. It's just about how you've been brought up to perceive beauty.
Your take on what France is doing currently, where they've put a ban on extremely thin models?
Yeah. I think it's the way forward because the whole world looks up to France as, the mecca of fashion. And that's where all the gurus are and their perception is the perception. So I think it's brilliant that they've done this. It's a step forward. Thank God. About time, I would say. Because honestly, you look at skinny models on the ramp and you think, who is really that size? You can't honestly take those clothes off the rack and put them on your own body. In whichever size I was in, I was like, I'm not going to fit into that. So yeah, I think it's definitely a step forward.
And did you face discrimination when you were modeling?
No, not at all. But I remember my first stint with modeling happened when I was 17. But I was a finalist in that and I was a skinny little girl out of high school, right? And that was my thinnest point in life. But I was told even then that I need to tone up my legs. My mental makeup was different, but I can see how something like that would affect someone else or have them feel low or look at yourself differently. But interesting thing is, a year later when I was studying in Madrid, I was approached by a supermodel couple. They actually used to run a modeling agency in Madrid, and I put on a lot of weight. I was chubby, nothing would fit me. I had to go and buy a whole new wardrobe, and then suddenly randomly in a mall one day I get spotted and I get asked to model for an agency in Europe. And I was really surprised. It was like, really? I'm not even thin anymore. I used to be thin last year. Give me some time, I'll come back. They're like, no, we love you the way you are right now. And their idea of beauty was very different from my idea of beauty then. And that really surprised me, So you can't really define who considers what beautiful. It's just everybody is beautiful as long as they have a certain confidence about them.
Earlier, we discussed Parineeti Chopra for a little bit. So she's a great example because she's young, she's vibrant, she's very talented. Yes. And just recently, she's lost a lot of weight. Yes. You had something to say about that.
Her album that she put out after she lost a lot of weight, it was her in her workout clothes and it was all about, I have worked and I have lost all my weight and I'm feeling so good and now I'm a certain size and everything. But I didn't really connect with why she chose to put that out there about herself. For me, it was like, so you are telling young girls that though you were supremely talented and you were doing so well and people looked up to you already, you needed to lose weight to have more followers or more fans or to get more movie projects. That's a really bad statement to make as a celebrity.
My leading up question is about social media and its power on us, where we now have a lot of body shaming that goes on, not just on a personal level, but on a huge scale. What's your take on that?
Body shamers, it's going to happen whether you're plus size or whether you're skinny. People are just never going to, I find it really sad that we don't compliment enough in the world. We love bringing people down no matter what they're doing. Everybody's going through a struggle in life. Everybody's working hard for something. So instead of sending good vibes their way or complimenting them or saying nice things, we just find it so easy to be like, unhealthy and negative ones. But having said that, it will come your way. Negative vibes will always come your way. You just have to mentally make up yourself in such a way that they don't affect you. They don't affect your aura. Yeah, it's not about having your hair perfect in the morning. If you want to put up a selfie of you walking to your car, going to the gym, do it, even if you don't have makeup on. Let people see you as a real person. So, and I think we're living in a time where it could go either way. Social media is such a big influence on younger minds. It could go either way. It could either make them really psycho crazy about being skinny and being well made up all the time, or it could influence them in a positive way. So I think we need to just kind of work in that direction.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate you being on the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. My pleasure.
You see every flaw, fine lines, imperfections in your skin tone, dark spots starting to appear. New Palmer's Skin Therapy Oil for your face helps improve the appearance of the most troubling signs of aging. Put your best face forward with Palmer's Cocoa Butter Formula Skin Therapy Oil for your face.
I'd like to welcome Moushumi Bhuyan, who is a media specialist. Let's hear what she has to say. Hi, Moushumi.
Hi, Zareen. How are you?
I'm good, and how are you?
Very well, thank you.
So it was interesting that you actually came on for this topic. So do you believe that thin is still in?
You know, it depends on from which perspective you look at. For me, healthy is in. Fitness is in. And if that entails to be thin, then so be it. If that entails to be a certain body type, not necessarily thin, then so be it. So I don't think thin is in per se. For me, it's health.
What is your definition of beauty?
Okay. Again, I'd go back to being fit, but because you mentioned physical round, because I was going to start off as being confident. But if it's just physicality, I think just wearing a very impressive, brilliant smile works anywhere and everywhere. It is not a certain body type. It is not a certain body shape. It's just your personality that comes across, and a great smile helps.
That's true. Do you think size plays an important role, especially in the media field?
For that, I'd specifically talk from the point of view of being in this country, because we live here. It really matters on the way you look. In media, yes. In media, it depends on where you are, whether you're in front of the camera or you're behind the camera or you're just marketing. People have this tendency to accept or not accept people who look good. And when I say look good, yes, physical beauty, and that is the way people think, and that is the way it is, and it is not nice. It is. I'd like to change that.
What was your reaction when France banned thin models, especially if they were unhealthy?
I thought it was great. Firstly, France has this problem of anorexia, to begin with. And they have about 30 to 40% of their population who are anorexic, and 90% of them are supposedly women, which is scary.
Yeah. And what is your take on plus size models being coming on the ramp?
There has been much talk about this whole plus size models, and I mean, come on, I think you need to be wearing what suits you, first of all, whether you're thin or fat or a certain body type. You know, at the end of the day, everything doesn't suit everybody. Everything doesn't suit me or you or, you know, anybody else. So there need to be other people out there who are not necessarily this 24, 34, whatever the stats are. There need to be other body types. I wouldn't say necessarily the plus types. I mean, you could say there can be shorter models around.
So my question is, what do you define as plus size?
You know, you say plus size because, you know, the world has already come to this whole definition of a certain size. So I really look at it in a very different perspective. I know what you're trying to say, that, you know, if somebody is heavier.
Yeah, but do you, that's what I'm saying. So if someone is heavier, do you automatically assume that they're unhealthy and they're plus size?
No, I don't.
Like a connection
no, I
that you
don't.
make?
No, I don't. Because a person who is heavier than me can be much more fitter than me. You know, so he or she is not plus size.
What are your thoughts on body shaming, especially with now accessibility on the cyber realm? I think cyberbullying has become very, very relevant to us.
I think it's horrible. I think it's horrible because the younger lot, the Gen Next, you know, it's really horrible. The way they look at their peers and the way what they do to them. I mean, I know of kids who don't eat. But will not work out, but will not eat.
Being from a media industry, what is your advice to a plus size model that wants to break into the modeling industry?
So I think embrace yourself, you know, embrace your body, you know, in totality, be confident of who you are and stay healthy. You know, a healthy body will lead to a healthy mind, and then you'll be successful no matter what.
Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you, Zareen. Thank you so much.
It's time to go outside and find out what you have to say.
Well, I really like the concept of bringing in plus size models because it's that stereotype that we all hold, that only skinny people or, you know, you need to be like zero size model. No, that's not true. It's not always acceptable. You can even have a plus size model. It is a really good concept. You need to bring that around because mostly all cultures don't accept it and they get really offended on it.
Yes, obviously I think I'm fat because this is something that has been told to me like by so many people. Not just that I'm uncomfortable with my body, but I think the people around are, and they keep telling me the same thing. So this has got into my head that yeah, I'm fat.
My thoughts are really that I don't find enough fashion out there for plus size, which is I think kind of sad because everybody is not going to be skinny. I used to be slim sometime in my past life, but I'm big, I'm beautiful, and I want to wear things that show off that part of me. But a lot of times you find frumpy leggings and stuff. For God's sake, please. I think we can do better.
For me, I like thin people. Even if it's a man, it's a woman, I like them thin. It's just that bulky people, I'm not attracted to them in any sort of way.
It's not only about plus size model. Anyone can succeed. It's just about how you carry yourself.
I think there are some fashion show that regardless of the size, they can be a model. And it will give an additional opportunity for those people who are not thin.
I think thin is now going out. I see more plus size models and a lot of plus size people are coming up in life now, actresses, singers, and even models. And I think that's a really good thing.
Fashion is not only for thin people, but of course there are some people who are in different sizes that would fit their size. So they want to see something that is good for them. So having those kind of model will be a good thing. It will, for people who sees that they are a bit, say, plus size, but if they see people on the stage having a model like this, they'll get inspired and say, I can look good even though I'm plus size.
Ashley Graham, she's a wonderful model. She's a plus size model. And many other. I think
plus size model also have a great chance.
We'd like to welcome Komal Chhatwani, a talent and celebrity manager and also a model. Hi Komal.
Hi,
It's so good to have you.
it's my pleasure as well.
So let's start with the topic's title.
Yep.
Do you think thin is still in?
It's debatable. Slow and steady, people are changing, but people have changed and their views have changed a lot when it comes to European countries. In this part of region as well as in India. It's taking a little bit time, I would say.
Do you think a lot has to do with our definition of what beauty is?
Correct. It has to, because a lot of people feel that beauty is only the outer beauty that you show. But for me, what beauty is, like how you can make a difference in anyone else's life. If you are happy and you can make someone else happy and make a difference in their life, how you treat them, for me, that's beautiful.
That's very nicely said. One of the debates that keeps coming up with regards to plus size models is that it's always linked to unhealthy look. Yes. What is your opinion on that?
I don't support obesity, but definitely I feel that it's not really unhealthy when you put them out on the ramp, because whom are you trying to fool? Not everyone is a size 0. Real women have curves and they have more curves than regular models on the ramp. So I feel it's not unhealthy, but it's just how you educate people and tell them that these are your muscles, these are your target audience, and these are the real women as well. I'm not saying that 0 size models are not real women, but be realistic.
Like at the moment recently, France has put a ban on overly thin models. Do you think that's a step on the positive side?
It is, definitely. It's not only France actually. According to the facts, it's Italy, Israel and Spain who have implemented this as well. And I feel that it's going to bring a positive change.
And do you encourage it happening in our region as well, in Asia as well?
Of course, because keeping in mind media is so strong and people believe in what they see and what is shown to them. I think this should happen more in this region as well as back in India.
What is your definition of a plus size?
For me, a plus size model is any larger woman who's confident and is not ready to give up.
How has it been for you as a model who is not on the skinny side? Have you been able to do shows?
In this part of the region, I haven't, because I don't think so there are these opportunities out here. But back in Europe, there are a lot of agencies that are looking out for plus size models and encouraging them because that's what they believe in and they want to change everyone's perspective. I worked on a couple of modeling shows here, but those are very privately organized and they do encourage plus size models. But as such, with an agency, no.
What is your take on body shaming?
I feel that's increased with social media being so strong and with all the issues happening around the world. I feel it has increased, but people are starting to tackle it. See, social media is a platform where anyone can say whatever they want, but it's all about how you perceive it.
Is there a celebrity who is plus size that you follow currently?
Yes, I do. It's not from Bollywood, it's from Hollywood, Adele, the singer. And I still remember there was once a news reporter who asked her that, why don't you lose some weight? You know, you sound really great, but why don't you lose some weight? And her answer was something that touched my heart. And she said, I create music for ears, not for eyes. So that's something, if she being at that platform, she doesn't want to lose weight and she doesn't let anyone define her and she lets her talent and work talk for her, what are we waiting for? Like, I don't understand. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Komal.
It was my absolute pleasure to be here.
I hope you enjoyed our discussion today as much as I did. What I realized personally is that no one person could define what beauty is. Then how can we allow media to tell us that it's attached to a size? Things have to change, and I'm glad we're starting to talk about it. Thank you for tuning in. Until next week, stay cool, stay awesome, stay real.
Hello, 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
No, I'm just...
1,000 people. Oh, sorry. Sorry, can I like wipe my...
Yeah, please go right ahead.
I think I'm feeling hot. I don't know. Don't put this part. I
No,
don't know what to say.
It's fine.
Oh, so we're rolling?
Yeah.
Smart. Oh my god, the lights.
What's next? Again, say the same thing.